Okay, so we are graphing this hyperbola, and I know it's hyperbola because it has a negative in the middle. Um, First thing then with hyperbola or an ellipse is I need the constant on the right to be 1, so I'm going to divide everything by 64, and I get x squared divided by 4 minus y squared divided by 16 equals 1. Now where's the center of this hyperbola? The center is at 0, 0 because there's nothing here with the x or y. If there would have been, it just like a ellipse or a circle, and we flip the signs. So my center is going to be at 0, 0. And this is, I go the square root of these, so 2 out on the x and 4 out on the y. So when I go to start graphing this, this is going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, unlike the hyperbolas, I'm not going to have 4 dots. I'm only going to have 2. And it's always, I put them on whatever axis is first. So in this case, x is first, so they're going to go here. If y would have been first, this would have been vertical. Okay. Then I'm also going to make an imaginary box right here. I'm going to make a little, that imaginary box is pretty imaginary. Okay, and I'm going to make this little imaginary box. The reason is this box is what's going to hold my asymptotes. So my asymptotes start here, and they go through the corners of my box. And if this had been, if the center had been somewhere else, my box would just be moved over. And then my graph fills in going almost to the edges. Okay. So how do I get these lines for it? So first of all, what do I've got here? Well, I have both of my vertices. Now again, if this had been moved over, I'm not going to have any y intercepts here. And I've already got my x right down here, but obviously if this had been moved, I might have had to solve for them. But we just solved for them like we solved for anything else. Now what's this line? Well, this is y equals plus or minus. I went up 4 over 2, its slope. And if there had been a translation, I would have just put them with the y and with the x. So this is y equals plus or minus 2x. So those are my asymptotes. So I have found my center. I found my vertices. I drew in my asymptotes because then I could draw in my graph. I know where my intercepts are. I don't have any more to find, but I could find them. At this point, too, if you're, like, I don't think something looks right, throw some extra points on. You can always throw some extra points on. Then we want to find the foci. And so now the foci, we know are going to be somewhere out here. They're going to be inside each of the hyperbola semicircles. How do we figure out where they are? Well, we're going to use the equation c squared equals a squared plus b squared, where a and b, of course, are the bottoms. So in this case, this is 4 plus 16, or 20. So c squared equals 20. C then equals plus or minus the square root of 20, which is 4 square roots of 5. Then these start from the center. So if there was a center here, we would have had to go further, but in this case it's 0, 0. So this is plus or minus 4 square roots of 5, 0. Because they're always going to be on the transverse axis. In this case, right here is my transverse axis. And again, if the center was moved, this could be moved up, down, over, wherever. But they're going to be on the same one that you put your vertices on. They're going to be on that axis. So, they won't be on the other way. And again, how you tell which way it goes is whichever variable is first in the equation, because remember, order matters in subtraction. The last thing you could be asked is to find domain and range. And what's the domain and range on here? Well, the domain of this has a big gap in the middle, right? So my domain goes from negative infinity here to negative 2, union to, these are brackets, they include it, to positive infinity. And what's my range? Well, all reals. It keeps going up. There's nothing stopping that. So this is where we're going to use those union signs that we talked about at the beginning of the semester. So hopefully this helps you see how to graph a hyperbola and all the different pieces that go into it. I do have a list of the different steps so you can make sure you can get everything checked off.